Once you've grabbed the attention of your viewer by using a powerful hook that they can relate to, it's a really good idea to just build even more interest on your video. Because at the end of the day, you might have them hooked for those first few seconds, for the first 10, 15, maybe 20 seconds, but then you really need to develop enough interest for people to continue watching the video. So how do we do that? Well, the main way we would do that, first of all, is by telling a story. Storytelling is one of the most powerful ways that you can sell anything in a video. In fact, even in a sales letter, storytelling is the best way to sell anything. And the main reason is because stories really engage people, because it basically just hooks them on to the story and they want to see what happens next. It's like watching a television show. Okay, the only reason we watch those shows on TV is because the stories are interesting and we want to see what happens next. It's like entertainment. Okay, and your sales letter, whether it's copy or whether it's in a video, it needs to be entertaining. The more entertaining it is, the more people are going to continue to read or continue to watch your video. And obviously it's much easier to do this in a video because you can use characters on the screen. Even if you're doing a slideshow, you can use animated text, images and videos and that kind of thing. So you can really make it much more engaging and by telling a story with a video over a sales page. And again, that's another benefit of using video. So ultimately what you want to do is tell interwoven stories to get your viewers hooked onto your video. And there is an actual structure that you want to follow when you're telling a story. And I'm going to get to that a little bit later after we've gone over all these initial concepts. Okay, so don't worry. I'm going to tell you the structure you need to follow when it comes to actually telling your story. The other way that you can keep people hooked onto your video is by having a mysterious story. Okay, create mystery. It's a very powerful way to keep people hooked by not answering the questions too fast. If you reveal too much information too quickly, your viewer won't have anything to kind of cling on to and wait for. Okay, they're not going to wait for a cinematic ending or a climatic ending because they already know what's coming. Okay, so if you start talking about the product straight away, they're going to switch off. All right, so what you do is you create mystery throughout your video and have them hanging on to the end. For example, if you look at the video that we did with Alex Jeffries, you'll see like instantly with the hook, Alex is saying, you know, he had the worst job of his life, he had a baby on the way and that kind of thing. And instantly it creates an element of mystery because you want to know, okay, he was in the pit, so what's happened to him? What's going to happen to him throughout the rest of this video? Is it going to get worse? Is he going to get better? What's going to happen? Is this situation going to get resolved? You know, because I'm in that situation. I want to make money online. And what Alex has said about having a job that he hated and being in debt, I'm in that situation. So I want to see how Alex's story ends up because that could be me. Do you see what I'm saying? Because what ends up happening is people relate to these stories. Okay, you want to tell a story that people can relate to. And that mystery and that intrigue will have people hooked onto your video all the way to the end of your video. So I really encourage you to go ahead and check out the videos in the project section and you'll see how I've used mystery very subtly in all my videos. The key things to remember here is that when you're telling a story, you're trying to create a picture in somebody's head, because obviously you're not going to want to go out there and film a full-on production. Okay, if you're telling somebody about how once upon a time, you know, you were trying to lose weight and all this kind of thing, you're not going to go out there and hire an actor, an overweight actor, and then hire a skinny actor and then try to tell a story. No, what you need to do is you can tell that story just over a slideshow just by using pictures, and you use very image-based vocabulary. Okay, so you talk them through the stories. So one day I walked into the bathroom, I looked into the mirror and I noticed that I was really overweight and I started to cry. You see, now as I was saying that to you, I'm pretty sure that you were visualizing somebody walking into a bathroom, looking into the mirror and crying. Okay, it's not about what's on the screen. Honestly, it's not about what's on the screen. It's about what's being said in the video. And that's the most powerful thing about videos. Okay, if you get the script right, it's not actually that important what you have on the screen. What's important is getting the script right. Obviously, if you have a really pretty looking video, it definitely helps conversions because it's more aesthetically pleasing and it just looks much more professional, and it helps you not to be amateur. And of course, that does help the conversions. But the main thing is if you get the script right, you can have people hooked and engaged on your videos. The main thing to remember, again, is don't try to sell anything straight away. Okay, you're not trying to sell anything at the start of the video or even in the middle of the video. We're not going to start selling until 3/4 or maybe even later in the video. Okay, all we're trying to do is tell a story, build value, build empathy, build emotions, and take your viewer on a roller coaster of emotions. Okay, that's what we're trying to do for the first portions of the video. For the most part of the video, that's all we're trying to do. Build those emotions up into the point where the solution is about to be presented. So don't try to sell anything too quickly, and make sure you try to come up with a story. So let's just say you're selling a product on weight loss. Try to come up with a compelling story about weight loss. Okay, so if you personally have had to go through a weight loss struggle, it's a good idea to tell your story of struggle. Okay, because people love hearing struggle stories. Okay, stories of people starting with nothing and going to a heroic moment. So if they start off really overweight and then they hear a story about somebody being thin and in shape, they love hearing about that kind of stuff. It's just that creates an entertaining piece of video or even audio. And these are the kind of stories they use in books. Okay, the whole loser to hero story is amazing. You know, it keeps people hooked and it makes it very interesting. And once again, I go back to the story of Alex. All we did was we told his story. Okay, Alex had no money, he was struggling, and he had nothing in his life going for him. But what he did was he overcame the obstacles, and he was a hero. He became an internet millionaire, and he changed everyone's lives. Okay, he changed so many people's lives on the internet. He made several millionaires himself. He made loads of other people into millionaires. Okay, it's a very inspirational and inspiring story. But the story is what sells that video. Okay, we don't even hardly talk about that product in Alex's video, but the product sells itself because anybody who watches that video automatically feels obliged to want to know more about this program that Alex is selling. Okay, so it's very important to be able to tell a compelling story. All right, and when it comes to the structure, again, we'll get to that a little bit later on. Another really cool thing about mystery is that you can create a cliffhanger. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you're selling a product about making money online and you want to create a cliffhanger. Okay, and you want to create some mystery. What you can say is, this video is going to teach you how to bank $50,000 in 20 days. But before I talk to you about that, I'm going to tell you about where I started and when I started with absolutely no money and I was in debt. Okay, so you see what I've done there is I've introduced the story with a powerful hook saying this video is going to teach you how to make 50K. And then we've brought it back to an emotional stance where, but first, I'm going to tell you about when I was broke. Okay, and the but first, those two words, but first, those two words create a lot of mystery because now people are anticipating how they can make 50K in the video. Okay, the video said, we're going to show you how you can make 50K in this video. Okay, and obviously that's going to be where the solution comes in at the end of the video. But what we do is we say but first, which creates that mystery for the viewer. Okay, so but first will create mystery for the viewer and keep them watching till the end. And that's another really cool way to create more interest and keeping people hooked throughout the video. So but first is like a really cool transitional phrase, you know, it leaves them hanging and it basically creates a bridge between unrelated pieces of information. Okay, so what I mean by that is the first part is this video is going to teach you how to make 50K, but then when you say but first, I'm going to talk to you about how I made breakfast this morning. You see, those two things don't have anything in relation, but by using the words but first, it's created a bridge between two different topics. Okay, two different areas. Do you see what I mean? So it's a very good way to create a bridge and to create mystery and intrigue in the video. And the one thing that you've got to understand is that we're not talking about the product here. It's too early to talk about the product, so we don't talk about that here. All we're trying to do is create interest, create intrigue, create mystery, and get people engaged into the story. Okay?